Hello, everyone, and welcome to the PearCast episode 5. I am Dan Eggers, your host, and I am joined to my right here by Paige Eckstein.
Hello.
And over to my left, we have the bearded.
Nah, not too much this time.
You gotta, you're scruffy. It looks good.
The last time it was really way too long.
Connor Potts. Did I say
Hello.
your name? Connor Potts is here with us as well, guys. And we're here to bring you the monthly news roundup of this month's funniest news. Starting off with Florida man arrested after he allegedly gave girlfriend a wet willy, affidavit says.
What? like a.
Wait, we're back
like
on
we're
the Florida
talking
man.
about.
We have multiple
How
Florida
can
stories.
you
this
not?
week.
It's
Yeah,
Florida
no, I
man.
agree.
We have so many
agree.
Florida stories this week.
So I just want to
Say that again. He was arrested? Is that what you said?
He was arrested after he allegedly gave his girlfriend a wet willy.
What's
And
the
this
charge?
is the same definition of wet
Assault.
willy that I'm thinking of, right? Like not something else.
Let me double check, but I believe he was
Finger in your
Like,
mouth
yeah.
and then in
battery.
your
He
ear.
was
Right.
arrested on a battery charge.
Seriously?
How hard did he wet willy her? Like,
Well,
Just like jammed it in there?
he declined to give a statement, but he did say that he wasn't drunk.
Oh, naturally.
He didn't deny the wet
I
willy. He
wasn't
didn't
drunk.
deny anything else. All he wanted
Nobody
to do
said
was say,
you were, man. Yeah, but I wasn't.
a
so
local
clear.
sheriff's deputy was called to the home of 47-year-old Joseph
47.
Sareki in mid-August. The man's girlfriend claimed that she found Sareki drunk on the living room floor after she
wasn't
returned
drunk.
home from work.
I wasn't drunk.
According to an affidavit reviewed by the Treasure Coast newspaper, Sareki went with his girlfriend, who has not been identified, and her daughter to a different person's home. There, he continued to drink and be belligerent. It's quizzes and quotes.
But I
according
wasn't
to the
drunk.
affidavit.
no.
Him being drunk is mentioned several times, actually. in the article.
He's not drunk.
Then on the way home, he allegedly grabbed his girlfriend's hand, pulled her arm, and continued giving her a wet willy, sticking his finger in her ear, the affidavit
yeah.
says. Her daughter, whose identity is unclear at the time, confirmed her mother's account.
Wait, identity is unclear? Like, that makes it sound like they're not positive that she's actually the daughter, or they just don't know who she is.
That's a good point.
What do they mean by unclear?
Don't know.
Seriously, how forceful was this Willie?
I
thing?
It
think,
must have been. Maybe
honestly-
it's the
Did he
arm
lobotomize
grabbing. Maybe it was
her?
the arm grabbing that did it.
I was just gonna say that. I think the Fox News article here that I just read is being a bit.
It's clickbait.
It's a
Like-
bit clickbaity, yeah, for
Sounds
sure.
like it's downplaying
Yeah.
that he like
Um,
wrestled her to
yeah.
the
Here,
ground.
I threw his picture up on the screen if
Oh,
you want to
yeah.
show it.
That makes
This is what he
sense.
looks
was
like.
not drunk. He looked
This guy was not
shit-faced in that
drunk.
fucking mugshot.
Yeah, I mean,
I
he
promise
doesn't-
you, I'm not drunk.
he doesn't look sober. I don't think there's any toxicology reports or anything like that to confirm, but
Too bad.
yeah, that's pretty much it. That was in St. Lucie County, Florida.
That's a good start.
Yeah, that is. It's a good opener.
Oh my God, I have 3 Florida stories this week. I didn't even realize.
That's okay.
I thought I had 2.
It's
I
just
have
second
3.
nature.
I just
Yeah.
realized. So I guess we'll skip. We'll
Go to the next
skip
one.
that and we'll move on to the next one. Suspected bank card thief in ICU after angry residents cut off his penis.
Oh my
What?
God.
What?
This is
That escalated so much faster.
is not in the United States.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to try to
I mean, either
pronounce
way.
a lot of stuff because
Okay.
I'm not good at pronouncing like African names. Honestly,
Okay.
this is a town in South Africa.
Mhm.
A suspected bank card thief is fighting for his life in a hospital after a group of residents attacked him and cut off his penis. One of the 3 suspects he is one of 3 suspects who allegedly caused havoc and, among others, by stealing bank cards, forcing the owners to give them their PIN numbers and then withdrawing money.
Wait, so he didn't like steal a bank card. It sounds like he held people up and made
He
them,
did steal their bank cards, though.
Now
but like while holding them
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
like
yeah.
that seems
my question is he like breaking into their home and taking
Yeah.
it?
No,
and
it
asking
sounds
for
like
their
he's
PIN,
finding
or is
people
he
on the street. And
at the ATM, like taking them to the ATM.
this particular
That sounds
incident
right.
happened around 9 a.m. on a Tuesday.
I was gonna say if somebody breaks into your house and says, "Give me your PIN number," you just
Yeah.
give them the wrong PIN number.
Yeah.
Well, I think they were, like being held at gunpoint.
Yeah, there.
Well, that's
I
what
feel
I'm
like
saying.
that's a bigger crime, and they should maybe say
Yep.
that
Well-
instead of just like stole bank cards.
The robbers managed to steal a card from a woman who was withdrawing money at an ATM. A few minutes later, the woman received an SMS from her bank informing her that the money was being withdrawn at the nearby Vivo garage. When she arrived at the garage, she identified the 3 suspects. They tried to flee in their car, but the motorist managed to block the road. A group of residents then attacked the suspects and beat them with
Jesus.
sticks, rocks, cement blocks,
Whoa.
Oh, and that's not enough. They have to go
Yeah.
and-
Cut his dick off?
and Shajambach I don't know what that is. It sounds like a homemade bludgeoning device, among
Who
others.
doesn't have one of those?
It was then that a group of men held down one of the suspects, pulled down his pants, and cut off his penis.
With what?
I don't
Like
think
scissors?
they say.
Why is that what you go to? Like vigilante justice
Take
is
away his
usually like
manhood.
blind
You
and you
beat
attack
somebody
people.
with a cement block. That's enough.
Yeah. But I want to know, in this crowd of people that are all riled up, I want to know the one guy that was like,
Let's cut his dick off.
cut his dick
off,
Like, that sounded like
dude.
South Park.
Let's
That's
get
like
his dick out
Randy.
and cut it off.
The man.
Who was the guy to start
Oh my
that?
god.
The suspects
wrong?
Did they
apparently
recover it?
they were apparently well-known residents. I don't know exactly what they mean by that. If they were like notorious criminals,
And they did this
or
in public, right?
in broad
Yeah, like
daylight,
9
Like in a
a.m.
parking
Yeah,
lot.
I believe in
Yeah.
broad daylight.
Yeah.
The man who lost his penis was transferred to a nearby hospital. Paramedics had
Wait,
apparently.
his penis was taken from him.
No. His penis was put in an ice box and then
Okay,
handed
they
to the
recovered it.
hospital.
Oh, like that Netflix movie.
Yeah.
What?
Wait,
The
what?
package.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't spoil it.
Sorry. Well, it's literally in the title.
My dick in a box.
So did they reattach it?
Yeah, I don't know if they were like, the paramedics arrived and then the villagers were like, here he is, we cut it off.
Yep.
Here it is.
I imagine one of them has it and he just like sees the paramedics and
Throws it and it hits
Just
the paramedic in the
run.
face. And he's like, oh, better get this on ice and take it to the hospital, which they did do. Don't know if the penis has been reattached. He's in critical condition.
I imagine he got beat with cinder blocks
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's probably much worse for him,
Yeah,
honestly.
in the like
I mean,
you know.
non-brain damage kind
but
of.
that's a major vein.
yeah.
Just get that snipped off.
Yeah.
That's true.
Could bleed out pretty quickly.
But
I
you can
imagine.
get more blood. You can't like
That's true.
unfuck your brain.
Until you, unless, yeah, that's very true.
I don't have any pictures of the guy. That is from News
I don't wanna see
24.
it.
yeah, I'm
anyway.
sure he is
Yeah.
not well.
I don't want to see his dick or anything
Holy
either.
shit.
Well, I don't think that's the pictures that they
Personally.
would show, but I agree with you.
Vigilante justice. That's
All right.
insane.
Well, moving on.
Did they put it in a bucket?
No, they put it in an ice box, is what it said.
what did the
Icebox
like
sounds
the,
like a refrigerator.
No, like that sounds like what my grandpa calls it.
Yeah, I
calls a
know, but that's
refrigerator.
just my first thought.
I think of a cooler.
It's literally a bucket of ice then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
kind of put
More
it in a bucket
dick
of ice.
buckets of dicks.
Well, that's the only dick
Bucket
thing.
of dick.
I know last time we had the whole buckets of dicks on the last episode, but this episode there's no
back
buckets of dicks.
around.
There's just bucket of dick.
A dick.
of
Yeah,
dick,
yeah,
singular. Okay. Okay.
Anyway, moving on. We
Hope
got
he feels better.
me too.
Good
We
luck.
got Utah woman 38 arrested after impersonating 21-year-old daughter during traffic stop. Let me first and
Wait.
foremost throw up a picture of this
Yes,
woman.
How old is she?
Oh my god.
I
What
want to
the
let you guys know that is a woman, not a man in track. I'm not trying to sound offensive.
I'm not even worried about
my
that. Look at her
goodness.
damn eyebrows.
Yeah.
Do you think those are tattooed?
Describe
do you think
her.
that's tattooed
Describe
makeup?
her for our audience.
Do you guys know Divine from John Waters films?
Yep.
She's like that, but less forehead.
Not a
black
lot of
hair,
forehead.
real extreme eyebrows.
Very-
tattooed
It looks
on.
like
Masculine
somebody took
jaw.
one of the fine tip Sharpies and drew the outline of her mouth.
So it is
and then
a
filled it in
very
with lipstick.
not current makeup trend that
Yep.
she is going on. Very dark lip liner
Yep.
that
Oh,
does
yeah.
not match.
Do you think her
Lots of
21-year-old daughter's
very-
dressing like that?
Also, her
No.
fake eyebrows are way too close together.
No
You think
one's
so?
dressing like that.
Anyway, a Utah woman was arrested
no.
Saturday after police say she impersonated her 21-year-old daughter during a
have nightmares.
routine traffic stop.
How did she impersonate her?
Heather Garcia, 38, was booked into Davis County Jail early Saturday morning on several charges, including providing false information to a peace officer. After she was allegedly caught lying to authorities about her identity to avoid her arrest for outstanding warrants.
I can't believe she's 38.
Yeah,
looks like-
she looks,
She looks almost
way-
twice that.
Way worse
Yeah,
than
that's
38,
not-
right?
It's not good for
38 is not that old anymore.
No, I
And
mean,
did
it's
she
really
have
not.
her daughter's ID, or was she just like, "Oh, here's my daughter's information,"
I'm-
and the cop was like,
I think
"Oh,
so.
I'd like to
this
see her
is
daughter.
your 21."
Garcia was driving a silver BMW when she was pulled over on Main Street in Farmington after a Davis County police officer noticed her vehicle did not have a license plate. If you're going to be a criminal, drive like with drive with some good
Get your
plates, right?
tags.
Or like
Yeah.
steal some good tags.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't
make it worse.
just
She
drive
didn't
with
even
nothing.
have a
She had
license
nothing.
plate?
She had no
No,
license plate
not
on
at
her
all.
car. During a search of her car, the police recovered drug paraphernalia
Oh,
and a
no.
white powdery substance.
Oh, no.
no. Hang on. Can I put her back up
Transporting
there?
sugar.
Can I put
Yeah,
her
go
back
for
up
it.
there? What kind of white powdery substance do you guys think it was?
It looks like a baker. It had to have been flour. Flour or sugar?
Definitely.
Garcia
Definitely.
reportedly identified as Mercedes, adding that she was born in 1998.
Oh no.
I can see it. The name Mercedes.
Please
That's like the
soon
makeup style of 1998.
They soon discovered Garcia provided her daughter's name and eventually made a positive ID. She was charged with several drug charges, including possession and use of a controlled substance, marijuana, and possession of a drug.
My question is, I have two questions actually. One, did she think they wouldn't figure it out? and two, if they
she just
didn't figure it out, then it's on her daughter's record.
Yeah, she just
Yeah,
fine
she
fucking.
was ready to
still
throw her
serves
fucking
time.
daughter
She's
under
still
the bus.
just-
And she
totally
still
ready to-
serves time
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
Yep.
no,
So-
entirely.
Holy
Fuck
shit.
that
I just
lady.
want to see her face when she's trying to tell the officer.
I bet she's
that
not even actually
21. Like, I want to see her straight face and the officer straight
I'd like to see her daughter and
Yes,
her
officer.
side by side to see just
I'm
how
21
different
years
she
old.
Yes.
It's so much fun to be able to finally drink.
is. So I picked up a bunch of flour.
I imagine she has a deep, raspy, like,
Yeah,
just smoking for 60 years voice, too.
yeah.
And she's 38 and still has smoked for 60 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, enough for
Exactly.
60 years.
I know what I want to talk about now, and I don't even really have to read much of this one. Moving on to our next story, because that's all I really have about that woman. This is a huge one. I'm sure everyone in our audience has heard this story. I'm sure you've heard this story. I know Paige has heard this story. I'm just going to read the headline, which is not shocking. Not shocking because we've all heard it. Teen goes blind from a 7-year diet of French fries, white bread, and ham slices, doctors say. So we've all read about this, I think. It sounds like pretty much all of his life, all he ate. I've heard sausage and I've heard ham. It's a deli processed meat of some kind.
From what I understand,
White bread and French fries.
the only time I've ever heard somebody going blind from their diet is because they were eating pocket change.
Yeah.
And they were becoming poisoned from the metals, the heavy metals.
So from what
That's it.
Yeah. From what he had a horrible like deficiency of B12, and from what I understand, whatever he has, usually if you get it, it's not permanent. But in his case, it is permanent. He's permanently blind from this horrible
He did
diet.
such
Look,
damage.
man, if you're going to eat that diet, just throw in a couple one-a-day vitamins.
For real,
Right,
yeah.
right. Just like throw in a fucking B12 vitamin every once in a
Or
while.
also
you know what
just
I mean?
don't eat that. But
I mean,
Yeah,
that's not
have
a
better
good diet.
diet.
balanced diets are good.
Yeah.
Are
I
the parents going to be charged with anything? Like,
Yeah,
That's
do they
on
know? How
them.
old is he again?
17.
17?
So
This is
So
not in the
since he
States.
was 10, since
from
he
the
was
UK.
10 years old. That's on the parents, I feel like. Like, you
I
can't
don't-
let your kid just eat shit
I'm
like
just saying,
that
how
constantly.
long has he been eating like this?
7 years
7 years.
is what they said.
Yep.
That's all it
7-year diet of
takes,
French fries,
man.
white bread, and ham slice. That's all it takes,
I
Connor.
don't
That
even
is.
understand that.
Hold on.
There's,
though.
like, nothing good in any of that.
talking.
I know,
while I do
but
something.
I know, but like, what would make you choose only? You've never eaten anything else other than French fries, white bread, and
Well,
slices
apparently
For
for 10
2,555 days.
every
That
single
is all
meal.
he ate.
How do you think he
That's
prepared it? White bread,
insane.
French fries, ham, and then another piece of
Do you
white
think-
bread.
do you
Was
think-
it sandwich
Why
form?
wouldn't it
Was
just be a
open-faced?
regular sandwich with fries on the side like most people
So
eat?
from what I
I'm
understand,
thinking he combines it all at once.
so from what I
Eats it.
So from-
Open face, maybe.
so from what I understand, there was this like fish and chips
Sorry.
place.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. Fish and chips place that he used to stop at like every morning, and he had his chips, which are French fries.
Yes.
For the uninitiated. And I think he would just like eat the French fries every morning and then come home and eat like white bread by itself. Just,
Right,
like, snack on
naturally.
it. And then he would just grab
Naturally.
ham slices or sausage. I don't really know which. I've heard both.
So
Processed meat, which is bad for you.
it's one at a time. I'll have French fries for breakfast, and then I'll have a slice of white bread for
Yes.
lunch, and then a couple slices of ham
yes.
for dinner.
That's what
No
it sounds like.
condiments. No dessert.
How could you not get sick
Oh,
of
and
that?
it doesn't mention also. I got
That's
one.
what I'm saying.
I got one
Yeah.
other item to add to his
Uh-huh.
diet. I forgot. It's actually pretty nutritional. Pringles.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he also ate a
Definitely.
bunch of fucking Pringles
Especially
all day.
if
So,
you eat the
like-
vegetable ones, the potatoes.
He was treated
Starch,
3 years
but-
prior to this by a family physician for, quote, tiredness, which I imagine because he
No
had no
shit.
vitamins.
Yeah.
According to the report, the then 14-year-old was a picky eater, but was otherwise well and took no medication. Early testing showed he had low levels of vitamin B12 and macrocytic anemia, which were which were treated with B12 shots and, quote, dietary advice. That's not a treatment.
No.
Dietary advice is not a treatment.
No.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can't force feed him to eat a balanced
I mean, you
diet.
literally can at the end of the day.
Well, like-
because you
Yeah.
know what?
Like if he's
at least
on a
in the
feeding
United
tube.
States, I don't
Yeah.
want to. This is going to be really offensive. You ready for my offensive moment?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Children
don't know.
don't have rights in the United States, at
Yeah,
least.
they
You
don't
don't.
really.
Like, you're the property, basically, of your parents. And
Which
your
is
you're
why
parents...
it's like on the
18.
parents to fucking do something.
Which is
about
why,
this. This
like,
is
you can
ridiculous.
100% force feed this kid a nutritional diet.
Oh, I meant
Or at least
literally,
give him
literally,
nutrients
like
of some kind.
they could tell him to eat it. That doesn't mean he will eat
Right.
it.
You
though.
can't
Yeah.
force the
You
parents
can't literally.
You can't do it
literally
without-
hold them
Fucking-
down
okay,
and
he
feed
literally-
I mean, you
them.
literally can.
He eats
But
white
you'd
bread
get-
a
there'd
lot.
be abuse charges.
I don't
Have
know,
you
man.
ever had
Now
to
he's
give-
blind.
Pills to your dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever smushed him in white bread?
Yep.
put it
Put
in
a
his
fucking
mouth?
vitamin in some white
Yep.
bread.
Yeah.
They really just didn't give a shit though.
Put a vitamin in some white bread.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't notice, honestly.
Just swallow a fucking hole, I imagine.
Mom, I don't like
Also-
vitamins. They taste icky.
Also, like those are the most boring fucking foods
Dude,
you could.
white
How do you not
bread?
get sick of that diet?
White bread?
White bread sucks.
White bread's the worst.
Most
I know.
flavor he's getting from anything is salt
it's-
from Pringles.
yeah.
Like that's it.
and
Which
maybe
I'm
if they're
surprised-
cheese flavored or something like
How
that.
is his sodium levels like not? through the
I'm
fucking roof?
surprised I'm
is-
surprised the sodium levels aren't
he
actually
is
what's causing
sodium
all of this.
itself
He's just
now.
pure salt.
He has become
I just-
sodium.
I just like looking past the parents not doing anything about it and all of that. How do you do that? Like literally,
How do you let your kid-
eat only those 4 things for 7 years?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely. I would get so burnt out. I would hate it.
Yeah.
I would get sick of it.
I'd get sick of it after a day.
Yeah.
I love pizza.
And separate, who just eats slices of ham?
yeah, I know. I
don't like
love
ham.
pizza.
I do too.
Right? Everybody loves pizza.
Yeah.
I'm not, I love pizza. Yeah, everybody loves pizza.
But are you gonna break the pizza and
If
ingredients
I have
apart
pizza
and
after
eat
like
them?
2 days in a row, please don't give me pizza for a
Mhm.
long, long time. And
Yeah.
that's
But also, this is like him. He's got all the ingredients for a sandwich and
But he
some
refuses
fries.
to eat it
But
as
he
a
eats
sandwich.
them separately. So that's like you saying, "I've only eaten pizza for 7 years."
I eat pepperonis
and in the
and
morning I
cheese.
eat bread, and for lunchtime I eat marinara sauce and some pepperoni, and then at dinner time it's the shredded cheese. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
well, it's not shredded cheese. I melt it down and then I drink.
Oh, okay,
I drink
yeah.
it.
Yeah, through a straw.
I drank the cheese.
Gross. Oh.
Speaking
gross.
of disgusting things, Paige. I
No,
wanna-
you said there wasn't going to be anything.
exactly what I was going to say. There's nothing disgusting
Okay.
this week.
I'm sorry.
But I
got
do
real
have
upset.
a really good story. How a government body plans to produce, quote, highly intellectual children with the help of cows.
Nice,
You may be asking yourself, what are they going to use to make these
Cows.
cow piss?
nice.
Oh.
That'll do it.
Hang on.
This is in New Delhi.
Who's they?
You just want me to get to the gist of it?
Go for it.
Witch doctors, basically, is
Okay. Okay.
they.
From where? The Bayou?
No.
This is in.
This is
where'd
in
you say?
India.
Okay.
Witch
New Delhi.
doctors. Nice.
A lot of things I'm not going to be able to pronounce in here as well. But anyway, I don't even really want to try to read it.
How is cow? Just give me. How is cowpea gonna make kids smart?
It's not.
Do you powder
It's
it?
what's gonna
You powder
happen.
it and blow it in children's faces.
No.
Yes.
How do you powder it? You
Yeah.
call up the Mercedes and get the flowers
I'll
that
tell
she
you
had
what.
in her
The
trunk?
drug will be made using cow urine, dung, milk, ghee, and
Hang on.
curd.
Dung milk or dung comma milk?
Sorry. The drug will be made using cow urine, dung, milk, ghee,
Nice.
and curd. Is that better for you?
Nice.
Yeah, that is. I thought dung milk was a thing, and I was like, I need more answers on that.
No,
before we
no, it's
continue.
poop. It's just poop and milk.
Nice.
All
What
right.
kind of poop? Cow poop?
The
Human
commission
poop?
that's I don't know what this commission is.
Who
That's
knows?
what I don't understand. I don't know
A
what this
little bit
commission
of
is.
everything.
But
Whatever
this
they can find.
it's a religious thing.
Mhm.
And the commission for this religious ministry has claimed that the pregnant woman may be able to give birth to, quote, smart, highly intellectual and healthy children if they consume the drug regularly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ugh, that seems really unhealthy for
I've
pregnant
crunched the
women.
numbers. That's going to work.
They say that if women
I've done the
consume
math.
the
It's gotta
dung, they
work.
produce smart, highly intellectual, and healthy children. He said that they
Healthy.
may. He says that a lot. He repeats over and over again: smart, highly intellectual, and healthy children. over and over.
Smart
over
and
over,
highly
you
over.
say
intellectual
it-
are pretty much the same thing.
Same
so-
word.
The more you say it too, the more I question it. It's like
Oh, I'm the opposite. The more Dan just can say it over and over again, and I'll believe
Nah,
it.
man. I get it.
We should go pick some of those ingredients up.
The commission's responsibility also includes the development and conservation of indigenous cow breeds, and therefore it already has among 14 indigenous breeds.
Okay.
Among the breeds, Gur and
I'm not up to
bunch
date
of
with my
stuff.
cow
There's just a whole sentence I can't read of it. I don't know what it says.
Cow names.
It's cow breeds.
Is it cow names?
I think
Cow
the breeds
types?
of cow.
That's what
Breeds
sounds
of cow, but not in English. Not the English breeds, because don't we have our own breeds?
I don't know.
There's
dude. I'm not
different
a cow
cows around the
expert.
world.
What?
Yeah.
I thought all cows were the same.
No.
Green cows, blue cows.
Anyway, he further says that there's a semen shortage, which forces the government to import the semen of bulls from other countries. The only way to solve the problem is by opening at least one semen production center and one mating center in each state.
I feel
That's
like
because they keep the
we.
females.
Quote,
I
semen
feel like we skipped something because we were
No.
talking about like strong, healthy, and then all of a sudden, and you're like, and
It's how they
going
get the
on.
materials.
There's a
skipped-
semen shortage.
that's exactly right. They're going to produce the drug on a large scale. And in order to produce the
They
drug
need
on a
the
large
semen.
scale, they need a lot of cows. And in
Yeah.
order to get a lot of cows, you need a lot of cum.
Now I wonder
Fair, that's
if
true.
the government
That's where the fucking money
has
is.
their hands tied and can't do anything about it because of religious reasons. I don't know how it is in
I
India,
think you're allowed
Yeah, I don't
to.
know.
but here you could pull that off
Religious
for religious
exemption.
reasons. I believe.
Well, but like,
That's the same thing as that Reddit guy who had to get his
what?
foot
you can't like
amputated.
I think-
mass produce medicine for religious
Well,
reasons.
I think that you also can't knowingly take something that's harmful for an unborn child.
Mhm.
Like, if they'll do something to stop you from that, you'll probably be, I don't know.
I'm just saying it sort of reminds
Detained.
me of a Reddit post I saw about some guy. This is going to get really disgusting, so I'm going to keep it brief.
Real brief.
He had to get his foot amputated for some reason, and under religious reasons, he was able to take the foot home and make tacos out of it.
No.
Oh, I've heard about that.
No.
I
And
heard
because
about
of
that.
because he claimed
Yep.
because he
I heard
claimed
about
religious
this.
reasons, they couldn't do anything
Yep.
to stop him.
I heard this exact story. It was
gets-
gross.
It's way worse. than that,
worse.
but
I read that
will-
Reddit
I'll
post.
leave it at that.
I was told there was going to be anything
That was on
gross
me.
this
Don't blame-
time.
That
Don't
was.
guys.
blame
I
Dan.
didn't know.
Damn it.
It's just what it
here.
reminded me of.
I don't have much to say about the medicine besides that's stupid. You shouldn't be doing that.
Mhm.
No, it's
even
probably
for
not
religious
safe.
Reasons. It's probably not
That's
safe.
probably not safe for pregnant women or just people. Like,
I
don't
didn't-
ingest.
I didn't
feces.
realize how much of that article I just wasn't going to be able to pronounce until I started scrolling through
okay.
it. So that was
You
my
learned
words.
something about cows.
Yeah, I
That there's
had no
lots
idea.
of types.
There's You sound very facetious.
All around the world.
Incredibly facetious, Paige. So we're going to move on to the next article here. You guys ever played the video game Duke Nukem?
Yeah, very
Well,
long time ago.
Very familiar with it?
Not very familiar.
You're
with it, but I
familiar
know
with
of
the Duke,
sensation,
right?
yeah.
The
Okay.
Duke.
Well, did you know that Duke Nukem voice actor can now officiate your wedding?
Nice.
Wait, like the voice actor?
Yeah. The
Like
voice
the-
actor from the original Duke Nukem.
That's pretty cool.
So he's like doing well these days. Then.
John St. John.
John St. John.
Is he? No.
No, he's not.
I'm thinking of James St. James.
You're thinking of Party
a
Monster.
name.
yeah, Disco Bloodbath.
Anyway, diehard gamers who are, this comes from CNET, diehard gamers who are trying to tie the knot just hit the mother load. John St. John, the voice actor who plays the video game action actor Duke Nukem, announced on Twitter that he is now an ordained minister. And this is his post. I am now an ordained minister, and I will be performing my first wedding ceremonies this Saturday. So yes, you can get married by Duke Nukem.
Nice. Do you think he does it in character? Or maybe
can
pay
you
extra?
request it?
Maybe
Yeah.
pay extra.
Like, can
and
you be
he'll-
like, hey, can you put on? Will you cosplay?
Yeah, yeah.
Will you cosplay?
feel like he's
Kill a
gotta be
bunch of people
prepared
at
for
your
that.
wedding.
Like, why would you want him if he's just going to be a regular dude? I don't give a fuck about that.
While John St. John has posed for his picture in a simple gray suit, he assured Twitter followers that he's more than willing to
Oh boy.
There
do
you
it
go.
in character.
What's the number?
Yes, the big cat, Big the Cat too, which I guess is another character he played. I don't even know who that is, but by request only. It's
I don't
only
know
by
who Big
request.
the Cat
Okay.
is either.
So
Big the Cat? I don't know what
he can do regular ones too.
Okay.
How embarrassing is that?
I decided to become an ordained minister for the
Because
same
I'm
reason a lot
broke.
of people do. I have a dear friend who asked me to officiate his wedding, not as Duke Nukem. I like that
fair.
he's not as Duke Nukem. I genuinely thought the idea would begin and end with that one ceremony. But it doesn't look like it. No, it doesn't. Given that
Because I
interest,
announced it and now people are interested.
Oh my God.
given that interest, of course I am, is what he says. Given the interest in it, I should say. We have confirmed to take... We even have one confirmed to take place next February during my cruise convention, NotCon at sea.
What?
Is it a
I don't know what that
cruise convention?
I don't.
like
KNOT.
nautical.
Nautical convention.
Oh,
Yeah.
NAT.
Okay,
Get it, guys?
okay.
Ew.
And that one I will definitely be Duke.
Why not just nautical con?
As a
Yeah.
producer of the
I like
cruise event, I
NotCon.
have to say the prospect of adding to what is already going to be a lot of fun for our fans really excites me. So you know what I got to say about this? Good on you, John St. John.
Yeah.
You're doing the world a service. People seem to genuinely like it. And Paige, if Paige is my girlfriend, and if we ever got married, I
am Dan's girlfriend.
Would you like to have John St. John?
No, I don't give a fuck about Duke Nukem or his sad broke ass.
Officiate our wedding.
That was kind of what I was thinking.
I don't know. You want to see what he looks like? He looks like everybody's dad.
Really. I imagine him being. I mean,
he looks like everybody's dad, man. It's no big deal.
You got him up. Oh, he looks
fine. Like, he doesn't look that sad.
Yeah, no, he looks
fine.
Throw him up.
He looks like I thought I did. He looks like everybody's dad who was like had a stint in WWE for a minute.
Yeah, he's fine looking.
He looks very fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What a good man.
All right.
That's it for that. Let's move on.
I don't want him to officiate.
Oh.
So, sorry.
I do. No, I don't.
At your guys' wedding?
No, I don't. I don't want Duke Nukem anywhere near my wedding.
What is some of like the Duke's lines? I want him to say it like during your vows. Like,
no
I'm
idea.
here to kick ass and chew bubble
no.
and get you two married. Let's move on to a video. I got something really good here, and we're also going back to Florida as we tended to do lately.
So we're gonna be.
It's hard to stay out of Florida.
It's gonna be pretty heavy on the end of these segments.
I'm gonna read the headline, and then I want you to see how they present it in the video.
Okay.
Woman plastic wraps. Oh, hold on. Before I read this, I want to say recently Hurricane Dorian happened.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of. Our hearts go out to the victims of Hurricane Dorian.
Yeah, it's been really devastating.
This woman is a victim of Hurricane Dorian, or at least could have potentially been.
Mm-hmm.
But let me read this headline. Woman plastic wraps Florida home ahead of Hurricane Dorian.
Oh, that doesn't seem...
Yes. So that's what I thought.
That's a lot of plastic
And then
wrap.
I watched...
Breathing reasons,
for the environment.
I watched this video, and I don't necessarily understand... why they present it.
That kind of plastic wrap.
Why they present it like she's not an insane woman. Anyway, let me just read some of this article, though.
Yeah.
Brittany Vindel decided to wrap her home in heavy-duty plastic in the Davis Shores, Florida neighborhood using 300 sandbags, which is a whole lot of sandbags, and a whole lot of duct tape to reinforce the wrap. She's hoping it keeps the water from Hurricane Dorian from coming up into her house.
Okay.
What?
It's not going to stop the winds.
Hey, it's not going to stop...
Does she have a basement?
Water.
Is there a basement?
I mean, it might keep some of the water out.
Yeah, but...
as long as she's got all the cracks sealed, but like the winds are going to just tear that away.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately.
Absolutely.
200-mile-an-hour gusts.
Yeah, plastic.
Here we go. Let me throw this up.
Plastic wrap isn't going to stop a hurricane.
No. That's the...
by Irma and Matthew in the past. Action News Jack's Bridget Matter picks up our live coverage in Davis Shores. And Bridget, you found a woman who put plastic around her house just to try to keep water
It's not even all the way up.
Yeah, it's like halfway up on her home.
We're all curious to see if this is actually going to work. Let me show you her setup because it's pretty
Spoiler,
impressive.
it's not.
She's got this heavy-duty plastic. It's being reinforced by duct tape and about 300 sandbags that are circling her entire home. She's hoping this is going to be enough to keep water out.
Okay,
here she is.
I'm just going to hold my thoughts until the end.
Home in heavy-duty plastic in the Davis Shores neighborhood.
We just started out by doing 6 mil plastic all around the house.
She's doing it with 300 sandbags and a lot of duct tape.
I think we're only on roll 3.
As of right now, Vidal plans to ride out the storm. She and others who
live
in Davis Shores have dealt with major flooding in Hurricanes Matthew and Irma. When a storm comes, neighbors here know the risks.
Now we're getting a little scared, so it's a tough
Leave.
call.
The neighborhood is
Leave is what you do.
Zone A. Zones A and
That's
B
where
are
she's
close
at?
to
Yeah.
149,000
What a
people who were asked to evacuate.
idiot.
We saw people moving out with plans to leave. The question is, will this plastic house...
No.
No.
If
No,
works,
it won't.
It's totally worth it.
I guess.
What if it doesn't?
And she's inside the house still.
I really hope that she's. I think what's happening is I think she's leaving. I really
They
hope.
just said she was going to ride it out.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Maybe she ended up leaving eventually.
I would hope.
That's
So
not
it's
good
not
shit.
like, in all honesty, it's not the worst idea ever to keep the water out, right?
Yeah.
But during a hurricane, the
Yeah.
water is not your biggest concern.
No, you have so
right?
many other things
You have
going
all the
on.
like. It's not going to matter when you have, for one, that plastic lap's like 6.5 feet tall at the most.
Also,
right?
Yeah, it didn't
she
cover that
lived on
much.
that tiny little strip of Florida, right? That's where they were pointing out Zone A was.
That's what it looked like.
She's getting hit. That's
Oh,
like-
yeah.
Yeah.
That
She's
house is
right
It's
in the
not
center.
like maybe
that
it's in the
water's-
middle.
Not to mention, it only went halfway up her house.
She
It's
didn't have any storm
not even
shutters.
covering the
They
window.
were just
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
It's.
Okay, well, good luck to her.
I hope everything
I
went
hope
well.
her
I
house
hope she's
didn't
okay.
get wet.
I hope she's
wonder
okay.
if you can Google her.
I don't want to Google her.
Yeah, I don't.
I just mean maybe they tuned in and said, "Oh, her house is."
I don't have an update on her. Maybe I'll look it up. Maybe.
What
we'll
if her
take a
house
break.
is the only one that's in perfect condition?
That would be absolutely
Florida,
I
amazing.
hope
If
that's
that's
I
the
would
case,
feel like such.
if that's
if
the
there's
case,
one
when I
less
was
person screwed there, that'd be great.
Yeah,
but
it would be.
when I was
it would
looking
be
up
hilarious
when I was
too.
looking up the stories, I'm sure I would have saw a different article. It
Yep.
said woman saves her house by wrapping
Yeah,
only
that's
half
fair.
of it in plastic wrap.
No, thank you. That's a lot of effort. She could have
I
been
wouldn't
packing
do
up
it.
her stuff and leaving.
No thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a house. I mean, your
Yeah.
life, like, not. And if she's really waiting it out in that house and she's located on that strip, that's the dumbest thing.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, moving on to our next story. We're gonna move out of Florida before we go back into Florida because I still have one more Florida story.
No worries.
We're going to New Jersey. New Jersey man breaks into
Not
Taylor
much
Swift's
better.
mansion, politely takes off shoes, and hung out, says police.
What do they?
With
What do
her
they?
or just in the mansion?
What do they mean by hung out?
Uh,
Is he nude?
A 26-year-old New Jersey man broke into the beachfront Rhode Island mansion of singer-songwriter Taylor Swift on Friday and removed his shoes because he wanted to be polite,
Hang
police
on.
said.
Who is that wealthy and lives in New Jersey?
She
sorry, go
doesn't.
ahead, continue.
It's a home of Taylor Swift.
Why would you even have a home in New Jersey?
don't know.
You can have. You're that wealthy. You can
Maybe
have
the
one
taxes
anywhere.
are less than New York, and it's New Jersey's basically touching. So
Richard J. McEwen, a Milford man, is the third man this summer to attempt to break in to the 11,744 square foot home in
Jesus.
Weasley
God
since July, but the first to make it inside.
Well,
Swift was-
congrats.
How'd he get in?
Yeah, exactly.
Did he like oil himself up?
It Takes a Thief. You remember that? Have you ever seen that show?
Yeah,
You probably
yeah. He watched a lot of that. Swift was not home, luckily, when witnesses saw him scale a wall along the western edge of the 5+ acre property around 5:10 p.m.
Oh, we just did it in the middle of the evening?
Seconds
Yeah.
later, a motion detector activated a burglar alarm, triggering a police response.
No shit.
Good.
The first cop to arrive found a security guard sitting near a seawall, but the guard wasn't able to hear the alarm because it was too windy.
Are you
Okay.
kidding me?
So like the guard's in on it then, right? That's the only.
I don't
answer
know.
there.
I don't think the guard's in on it with this guy. I'll show you a picture in a little bit.
Okay.
Jesus.
That's terrifying. That's got to be terrifying as a celebrity that people
Officers-
just try to
yeah.
break into
Yeah,
your
often.
house all the fucking time. That's terrifying.
That's why they have so many.
Just fucking crazy people.
Officers and the security guard soon found McEwen standing in the foyer after they searched the outside of the 7-bedroom, 9-bathroom house.
Unnecessary, but.
Yeah.
How many people have more
You
bathrooms?
gotta hide
than
from all the
bedrooms?
people fucking breaking in.
And that's the thing is that I don't know how many people live there. I'm assuming it's just her
Nobody
house.
when this happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Nobody lives there. People
You
stay
said
there
9
sometimes.
bathrooms?
9 bathrooms, 7
7
bedrooms.
bedrooms.
Do you think she uses all of them or just picks one and
Probably uses
only
them
that
to
one?
bang John Mayer all over the
Yeah.
place. You know what I mean?
Okay.
No, I like to imagine that she just has one bathroom for just shitting. And
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
that's what I
I'll
think.
brush my teeth in this bathroom. I
Yep.
take dumps in that one. I shower
That's smart.
in
You
that
know,
one.
cross contamination.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
take baths in there. Only pee in this one.
That's what I think's going.
Floss in another bathroom. That's 8, I think. 7
Yeah.
or 8 right there.
He got
Sorry.
He got into the house by breaking a glass door and began wandering the mansion to find Taylor.
Jesus Christ.
He apparently didn't have weapons and had no intentions on hurting anyone.
That's what they always say.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I was going to murder her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know I don't have any weapons, but I was going to strangle her
That's
to
what
death.
I was doing here.
So you got a picture of this guy?
I do. Let me throw that up real quick. Here he is.
Okay. I mean,
He's in here, he's young.
Yeah.
He's only 26. Well, he's not that young.
what a
I can't
fucking
really
idiot.
move it. There we go.
Does he have like? I don't know.
I can't exit this
Talked to
for
officials
some
at
reason.
the EOC
Oops.
earlier today.
I
here in
assume
St.
there's,
Johns
like,
County.
some
They say if conditions are too
Existing
dangerous,
something going on.
I'm sorry. Well,
I assume there's some kind of existing thing going on with
yeah,
him. Like
Yep.
mental
yeah. He's
illness
definitely
or
got like some
drugs
type of
or
mental illness
something.
or something like that. Here.
I like to imagine him
John
just
St.
like walking
John.
around softly, just being like Taylor.
All right, throw that back up so everybody can see it a little better. Yeah, he's walking around the house saying like, Taylor, Tay, come out to play.
Oh, no, I hope he's not saying that. You could break in and be a lot less creepy than that.
He drove to Westerly from New Jersey earlier in the day. He's breaking and entering a home without owner's consent, which is always breaking and entering, and willful trespass.
No, if they let you. It takes a thief, man. That show.
It's not a crime then.
They intentionally.
It's not breaking and entering
with consent. Why do you even have? That's what I'm saying. Why do you have to clarify with consent?
Yeah, right. He posted $5,000 bond. That's all he was held on, and he was released. That's it.
Just wait till he gets on Twitter and her fans attack him.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, like I said, out of Florida and right back to Florida. We're going back to Florida. One more time. Florida vacation home invaded by dozens of vomiting vultures.
What the fuck?
A New York couple's luxurious vacation home in Florida has been taken over by dozens of black vultures that are vomiting and defecating everywhere.
Isn't it? I don't know. I could
What's
be wrong.
What's in the water?
I could be wrong. I think vultures just throw up because they can't digest everything, so they consume everything and then puke up what they can't.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
That's a terrible
I think that's what it is, though.
Design of these.
They're efficient.
That's true. I guess.
The Palm Beach Post reports that the Casamino family can't even visit their $702,000 home they purchased earlier this year in the Ibis Golf and Country Club.
A second home?
It's a vacation home, so yes.
I feel so terrible.
Paige, listen.
Woodstock, though.
Listen. It's described as smelling like, quote, 1,000 rotting corpses.
Good.
The vultures have destroyed screen enclosures and have overtaken the pool and barbecue. A few times the family has visited. They've had to park their car in the garage or the birds peck at them with their beaks.
What the fuck?
Okay, so I love this.
Where did they come from, though? Did they buy it without seeing it?
They're from New York.
No, I mean the birds. Where did the birds come from?
The birds are from New York.
Wait, the birds didn't buy anything.
They went to the people. They went to they went to buy the house, right?
I don't think it's always been infested by vultures.
Yeah, so they just showed up.
I would
and then
just
started
like to
vomiting
say,
all over the place to mark their territory.
That's exactly
I absolutely love the vultures' approach to bougie people.
Yep.
They just come in.
It's our house now.
Vomit on everything and peck at them when they come in.
Oh my God.
That's the most beautiful thing. They're also like endangered. So like I'm all about these. I assume they are. A lot of vultures are. I don't know about this.
I don't know about these particular vultures.
A lot of vultures are, and so I'm totally fine with them stealing a second home of some rich people and throwing up all over it.
A neighbor, Cheryl Katz, tells the Post she got it even worse because she lives next door to a person who is feeding the vultures and other wildlife.
Oh,
that's why they're there. Yep.
In May, she said the vultures tore through her pool enclosure and couldn't figure out how to get out.
Oh, no.
They're like fruit flies. Imagine 20 vultures trapped biting each other, and they can't bite through bones. Oh, they can. They can bite through bones.
They can bite through bones.
Oh, my God.
They would bang against my windows, running away from any bird that was attacking them. Blood was everywhere. It was vile, vicious, traumatic
This is
event.
like fucking Vulture Mad Max.
And it was Memorial Day, so no company I called would come out to help me.
Oh, how sad. How sad.
I'm sorry. This is so funny to me.
Finally, the three police officers arrived, and they removed the screens and they shoot away the vultures.
They just shoot them away. Get away.
What was it, that
Get
invention? The thing that chases geese.
Oh, the Gooseinator?
Gooseinator.
Yeah.
They used the Gooseinator.
Did they bust out?
Yeah.
Wasn't that also in Florida? The Gooseinator?
I don't remember.
Everything's in Florida.
We're coming full circle.
Not to rag on the state, but all of these articles.
You got it all, Florida.
Yeah.
This is, I believe, the neighbor who has chronic lymphomic leukemia, and I don't know why it's telling me this, which leaves her vulnerable to infection. She's been extra careful not to go outside, even having someone power wash the patio twice.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, because they're just vile, filthy creatures full of disease.
Why didn't anything happen to the lady that was like feeding them?
It was a man, possibly.
Well, fuck that guy.
And I don't. What's wrong with feeding them? It's not against the law.
That's how they come back.
It might be.
It might be illegal.
No, regardless if it's illegal, that's how they come back.
I'm joking.
And if this is in like a country club or something, I bet fucking money there's a homeowners
Go ahead and
association.
feed regular ass birds.
Oh, okay.
Don't feed vultures.
Cats, which this is again the neighbor.
Cat switch.
She says she spoke to someone at the U.S. Wildlife Service and learned it's hard to get a permit to kill a black vulture.
Yeah.
Are they endangered?
Probably.
The homeowners actually blame Katz, the neighbor, who they claim is excessively feeding wildlife. Katz said she's seen the neighbor give bags of dog food. Whoa. This has got to be a typo. The article says she's seen the neighbor give bags of dog foot.
Yeah,
That's a typo.
That's got to be a typo.
Right?
That's
Hopefully.
Yeah, 100%.
And even roasted chicken to vultures.
Damn.
So
That's the
the
dumbest.
homeowners
fucking
are
thing I've
blaming the
ever
neighbor.
heard.
The neighbor's blaming the next neighbor.
It should be the one feeding the vultures.
We don't
It's
know
her
who's
fault.
feeding any of
Yeah.
the vultures.
Or his fault, whoever it is.
People have suggested scaring them with fireworks or balloons.
Goosinator.
Okay,
But that
have
doesn't
they
work
not
for
heard of
long.
this yet?
Katz even tried putting out 4 fake owls that have moving heads and blinking lights. The vultures chewed the owls apart and they ripped the heads off.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're fucking vultures.
Yeah, like they're not afraid of no fucking tiny plastic owl.
That's not gonna do
Oh my
shit. Vultures
God.
are so goddamn
Yeah.
big. There are turkey vultures that hang
Yep.
out at my work, and they're fucking huge, terrifying.
Yeah, no, they're gigantic, terrifying birds. But anyway, this is moving on to where our podcast gets its title. Before we move on to our last story, this actually isn't our last story. Okay.
I'm so excited. Guys.
This article is titled Katy Perry has blood on her hands, says Irish American
Oh, boy.
nun after court death. So let me give some backstory. Let me preface this.
Please do.
In like 2015, you may have heard about, I don't know if you did, Katy Perry was trying to purchase some property.
Mm-hmm.
The property basically like nobody really knows who owns it. It was like the archbishop sold it to Katy Perry, and then like these nuns sold it to somebody else, and the nuns were claiming that they rightfully owned it. The archbishop was claiming that Katy Perry, he sold it to Katy Perry and she rightfully owns it. Anyway, whoever the nuns sold it to already moved in. It became a huge fiasco, a huge legal battle. So one of these nuns died actually fighting in court.
What?
This battle went on for years and years and years. So in 2018 is when she died. And this is Sister Rita Callahan. She's not the one that died. She's actually the only surviving nun of the 5 Los
the
Angeles
Katy
Catholic
Perry
sisters.
incident.
So they all
Exactly.
died except for one of them? That's what you're
Yes.
saying?
Who began a tense legal
Incidentally.
battle with Katy Perry and the LA Archdiocese in 2015. She says the pop star has, quote, blood on her hands.
Yep. Literally, I'll hold my comment.
Just
until
wait.
the end.
Her best friend of many decades is the one who died. Sister Catherine Rose Holzman, who was part of the legal battle, collapsed and died in court during a court appearance just over 1 year ago, March 9th, 2018.
Jesus.
The 89-year-old nun's last words, according to Sister
Oh
Callahan,
my God, no.
were,
Oh, I know what they're going to be.
Katy Perry, please stop.
Oh, man.
Sister Callahan, who is again the only surviving nun, says, I really didn't like Katy Perry, and I'm sure she doesn't like me.
I'm sure she doesn't fucking give a shit or know who you are for real.
Katy Perry,
God.
eventually Katy Perry backed out of this. Katy Perry was like, I don't even want this shit anymore.
Yeah, she should have done that a long fucking time ago.
She did do it a long time
can
ago. These
afford it.
nuns are fighting with mainly the Archdiocese at this point over who owns it. The nuns claim they do. The Archdiocese claims they do.
It's like fighting the archdiocese.
Right? They also,
The goddamn
both of them
Catholic
sold
fucking
it.
church.
both of them have
Sold it to different
So
people.
neither
yeah.
of them own it, really.
Well,
They're just trying to
I don't
determine
know
who
if any
originally
sales have
owned it.
officially gone through because they don't know who legally owns
Yeah.
it.
So I just want to say that it's awful that this 89-year-old
Yeah,
nun died
right.
in
Yeah,
court,
sure.
but that her last words were, "Please stop,
Katy
Katy
Perry,
Perry
please stop."
is
She's
the
grown too
funniest
powerful.
fucking thing.
Which honestly, I don't think you can blame anyone unless they stabbed them
No.
on an 89-year-old woman's
No.
death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, sorry, that's what happens. But anyway, shortly before this death, the nuns had released a documentary chronicling the legal saga, which I watched
we
a
watch
little
it?
bit of. It's an hour long and super boring.
I bet. Let's watch it.
It's super boring.
Movie night. Come
Yeah.
The nuns were tormented by the case, which began in 2015 when they attempted to sell a Mediterranean-style villa in the Los Feliz neighborhood of Los Angeles, where they had lived for decades until being kicked out in 2011.
Now this
So they don't own it then. If they could get kicked out, you don't own it.
Yeah, it's a little.
This also
That's how
seems
that
like a
works.
very easy dispute to figure out. Like, okay, both of you show us your deeds, and we'll figure out which one's real and which
Yeah.
one's fake.
So they were kicked out by businesswoman Dana Hollister, who I actually believe is who the nuns sold it to. After the property's sale, the Archdiocese intervened and called Hollister's offer a fraud, claiming the nuns did not have any authority to sell the property, which in my personal opinion, it sounds like they didn't. It sounds like it was 100% not owned by
Nuns
them.
don't usually like...
Right? They claim the sisters have varying accounts of how there have been varying accounts of how the sisters claim the rights to the 3,000 square foot villa, which have served as the covenant, with some sources stating that they had pooled their money together to purchase the property back in the 1970s, generating sufficient funds by permitting production teams to use it as a filming location, and others suggesting that devout Catholic had left it to him in his will. Nobody seems to know who owns this property, which is really weird.
I don't either.
It seems to be a property worth a lot of money,
What kind
too.
of vows did they take, too? Does it mention anything about that? Like, if they took vows of poverty, then this could be...
these are not, honestly,
not them.
honestly,
but all nuns don't have to take
my
that
personal
vow
opinion
either.
is these aren't very good nuns. They're not really in it for the religion.
They
They're
wanna
in it
make
for the
fucking
money.
movies.
They want to make money. They want to make movies.
And they want to fuck Katy Perry.
Oh, no, they don't. They want to fuck her up is what they want to do.
In a mean way.
The Los Angeles Archdiocese, however, ruled that it was still the Archdiocese's property and had agreed to sell it to Katy Perry for $14.5 million. The nuns claim that was $1 million less than the price that Hollister had agreed to. They also argued that they were being forced to violate their vows by selling it to Katy Perry.
What? What vows? What vows does that violate?
In an email correspondence sent from Sister Holzman to Archbishop Jose Gomez, she wrote, "In selling to Katy Perry, we feel we are being forced to violate our canonical vows of the Catholic Church."
What vows?
Yeah, I'd like
There's
to know
lots
what
of
vows
them.
too, yeah. They won't say because it's made up.
Yep.
I think it says it's somewhere in here.
Yeah, I need to know the vows specifically because I called bullshit.
I don't know the actual vows, but she said, we asked Diana Hollister to buy our property as we didn't want it to go to Katy Perry. Yes, we put the wheels in motion to sell our property, she said. We are also pointing out that it isn't legal for Katy Perry to buy it either. At one point, I can't find the quote in here, but she says that Katy Perry, represents everything they hate, basically. I can't find the quote.
That's fair.
It's really just that they latched onto her because they're not getting the money from the sale.
Yeah, I think that it really
the
sounds
other
like they
person,
just
they
want to
would
make
bet
some money on this
$15
sale
million.
in any way possible. And now they're telling the public that it's Katy Perry's fault. You know what I mean?
That's fucking hilarious. I love it. I fucking love
The
that this
last
old nun's
words.
last words are
Yeah.
Our prayers, she has grown too powerful. Please stop her.
I can't find the exact quote, but
That's okay.
but it was
Oh my
basically
God.
in selling to Katy Perry, where she represents everything the opposite of what the church represents. I guess because she's sexual in nature with some of her songs and,
and
stuff like
colorful
that,
and
right?
happy and fun and not guilt ridden all of the fucking time.
I'm not entirely sure. But that's where our story gets our podcast gets its title, but that is not the last story of the evening. We have one more story this evening before we move on to Connor's Conspiracy Corner. And this is actually a local story. And this is about the loop trolley, which I'm sure you're familiar with the loop trolley, right?
Yeah.
So before we get into the loop trolley, because while all three of us are familiar, a lot of our viewers might not be. So Paige is going to go over just kind of a brief history of what the loop trolley is and what it's been through.
So I would like to start out by saying the loop is a stretch of street in a neighborhood here. It's shopping and food and all that stuff. It's always just referred to as the loop. And recently, they constructed a trolley. I have a timeline of the...
I want to add a trolley that nobody wanted.
Yeah.
Nobody asked for.
Absolutely nobody wants this to happen. People are actively mad. They allowed non-residents to vote on the matter. There's a lot of fucking bullshit that went into this.
It literally drives down the middle of the street.
Joe Edwards of the
drives down the middle of the
Edwards Jones Dome for this. So, for our timeline, July 2010, St. Louis County receives the Urban Circulator grant of $25 million. This covers a little under half of the cost. September 2013, 3 years later, federal officials threatened to pull $22 million in funding over concerns about delays and management. November 2014, another year later, they are granted another 6 months to start significant construction. This is 4 years after they received their first grant.
Yep.
Which is taxpayer money.
Yep.
I want to emphasize.
March 2015, trolley construction begins with a late 2016 planned opening. December 2015, county okays $3 million to qualify for matching $5.4 million federal funds required to complete project. I'm just throwing these in here so we can keep money and show it. It's
lot
just
of money
rolling in for this. A lot of it from taxpayers.
Again, money that for something nobody asked for.
Yep.
So then the last we heard about the planned opening is late 2016, right? 2015, they get more money. 2 years later, March 2017, the opening is planned for summer 2017 now, and testing begins on the trolley cars. August 2017, later that year, Joe Edwards requests an additional $500,000 from St. Louis County, and it is essentially holding the project hostage
saying like we're not going to complete it unless
saying
you give us
it
the
can't
money.
get done unless we get this money. August 2017. November 2017, opening pushed to February of 2018. So it's already 2 years later after the very first planned opening. April 2018, still not open. They announced the trolley will operate on reduced hours when it opens. So they're already pulling back from the promises
I believe
that they
7
made.
to 4 days.
Yep.
And limited hours.
And limited hours as well. November 2018 is the ribbon cutting ceremony. It's still no planned opening at this point when this happens. The trolley strikes a car while it's testing. I'm sure you remember hearing about this. It hit a car.
It's hit multiple.
And then toward the end of November, it actually opens, but it's very limited. They actually won't let it go on a full section of street because they never bought the $300,000 bonds that they knew they had to buy for years and years and years as our backup plan. In case this sinks, we need to tear it all out. That's what the bonds were supposed to go to. And now they're dragging their feet about it, don't want to do it, acting like they don't have the money. At this point, $51 million have been sunk into this, and they're scoffing at $300,000. So they won't let them actually run the trolley until they buy these bonds. It is not until December 2018 when it fully opens.
2 years after it was supposed to.
Yep. It is in December 2018 when it opens fully that one car breaks down during transit.
Classic.
After only,
I want to specify too. These are like newly built. These aren't like refurbished
And there's
old
only
cars. They
2
built these in like new.
There's only 2 at this point. They eventually bring a third on.
There's supposed to be 3, I think, to start.
After 6 weekends of operation, it closes all cars on the 7th weekend to address a possible braking issue. January 2019, so it's only been open about a month at this point. One of the cars is removed for electrical problems.
New cars.
And July, as of July this year, it has only sold 11,000 tickets so far. The estimates that they promised for the first year, so November to this November, were 390,000 tickets. So I know it's not November yet.
And they sold 11,000?
But I have a feeling we're not going to go from 11,000 to 390,000.
You never know.
If
we get out there and we pay for it.
Fuck no. Nobody wanted this trolley. Nobody wanted this. I didn't specify at the beginning. This is in St. Louis.
It drives down the middle of the fucking street.
Yeah.
How dumb is that?
It's a trolley that nobody asked for that drives down the middle of the street that shut down construction like shut down the street for months on end.
Several
and it goes what, 5 blocks?
Because rent went up because of it.
And it goes what, 5 blocks?
And nobody wants
to ride it.
Nobody fucking
walk
wants it.
that.
So now that nobody wants it,
fucking wants it.
Nobody's
Nobody's
going to
riding
it.
it.
Do you know what their plan is now?
Huh.
The Loop Trolley will begin hosting stand-up comedians in a bid to boost ridership.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Is this?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Can you imagine being trapped in a small box with a terrible local stand-up comedian?
Dan,
this just makes me mad, honestly.
is this money laundering or like tax evasion?
It has to be.
They don't want people if they're putting stand-up comedy on it. That's just
Oh my God.
holy fucking
Just turn it in,
shit.
add some food truck shit to it, and then they can make you a meal and you can ride up and down the loop while you eat your food.
Hey, you want to hear what they
That'd make more money
You
than
want to hear what they're calling it, though? This
Oh
might
my
change your
God,
mind.
no, I don't want to.
Laugh track.
That's not even funny. That's
Get
just,
it?
Yes. I get it, Dan.
This has to be.
That's not.
Fucking Joe Edwards is money laundering through the loop.
That guy's a.
That's it. That's the
In
only
a couple
fucking
days,
issue.
September
That guy's a
13th, the first event will take place. Brittany Robbins says that we are super pumped about it.
No,
She's a
we are not.
spokesperson.
No one is
She's a
super pumped.
She's a
spokesperson for the
PR
Loop Trolley
person.
Company.
She's a PR
She says,
person.
you know, the Loop Trolley is one of St. Louis's great attractions.
No, it's not.
No, it is
just
not.
adds to the experience that St. Louis and tourists are getting elsewhere.
I'd rather go up in the arch every day than ever.
Yeah.
set
I
foot-
never want to
agree.
go in the fucking
Yeah,
arch
the arch
now
is
that I live
dumb.
here. Well, it's fine. It's cool. You should check it out if you haven't been here.
Yeah, but
But if you've been there,
The
you've
Loop
been
is
there.
such a touristy area.
Yeah.
But I feel like the trolley's not going to help that at all. Like the big pull is used to just go walk up and down the loop.
Exactly.
That's
That's
what
the
you
whole
did.
point of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just riding by and missing everything.
Listening to terrible stand-up comedy.
Oh my god!
The idea
I hate this.
The idea to host stand-up comedy on the trolley first came from Yale Hollander, a longtime local comedian that I've never heard of.
well, that guy sucks. That's
He
why.
says the seeds were first.
Local St. Louis
Honestly, if
comedy
you're a
isn't
local
exactly-
St. Louis comedian,
Yeah.
shout out to our local St. Louis comedians. But you guys probably suck. Like you're probably not that good. You know what I mean? Just like I'm not
'Cause
that
you
good
get
of a
out of
Twitch,
We've got a big
St. Louis.
comedy
streamer or
scene here.
podcaster because I'm not out of St. Louis.
We got a big comedy scene here, man.
Do we?
Anyway,
No.
The idea. So the seeds were first planted in 2017, and Yale goes on to say we've been talking about the loop trolley for years, and
It hasn't been open for years.
No,
It's
We've been
open
gathering
less
your
than a
money
year.
for years.
Yeah.
And in the course of discussions on Twitter and a kind of tongue-in-cheek sent out a tweet to the Loop Trolley Authority back in 2017 suggesting that they let me run an open mic on the Loop Trolley. That's even worse.
That is even worse.
And it was kind of laughed off, Hollander says. I did get a response from them, and that's actually where the Laugh Tracks name came from.
They laugh it off when they think that they're going to sell 390,000 tickets. And then when they realize, oh shit, we've only sold 11,000. Let's go get that stand-up comedian guy to do some shows.
I think
Because that'll pull in.
I think the
that'll
comedian.
make up
I think the
difference.
comedian laughed off his tweet that he sent and wasn't expecting to get a response.
He should have
is
laughed
the
off their
worst.
response too.
I would
because
rather it be
that's just
dinner
embarrassing.
theater, and I
Yeah.
fucking hate dinner theater.
it should be.
dinner.
It'd be
Yeah.
better.
Time passed, and the
God
half-hearted idea
There could be
sat on the
trolley
shelf.
jousting. They could just.
Ooh, I
Crash
do.
them in.
I
That would be
do
dope.
that. Yeah.
I'd definitely go. Actually, no, I wouldn't because fuck the trolley.
Yeah, fuck the
Nobody wants the
trolley.
trolley. Once I started getting the habit of
such
forming
bullshit.
these oddball location comedy shows, I thought, well, I'm going to take another run at the trolley, he says.
It does sound like he's gonna joust it.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, but it's time, and I'm going to go with an actual proposal, an actual plan, and an actual vision. And that I've actually been running shows.
What vision this guy has?
Imagine stand-up comedy, but like on a trolley.
Oh no, I mean
That's
like
his
I'm
vision.
saying,
That's
wow,
his vision.
What
That's
vision
it.
he has.
Oh yeah.
Fucking going places. I can't believe they have the balls to call themselves a fucking main attraction of St. Louis.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a
fuck
lot of
you.
goal.
It's a PR
That's a
person.
lot of goal for a thing that, like,
Bullshit.
honestly has kept me out of the loop. I have not been.
I don't
to
go
the
up
loop.
Yeah, I don't fucking go.
I
to be
like,
fair, I didn't really go before the trolley,
yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
not
Soul
going
Taco.
now.
Shout out to Soul Taco.
Yep.
Soul Taco's good, but
Soul
you know what
Taco's
else I
fun.
like? Colby Taco, and it's a lot
Way
closer.
better.
And I don't have to go to Loop.
And
And it
vintage
doesn't have a
vinyl
fucking
sucks.
trolley.
Anyway, we don't need to keep naming local
Slag off
businesses.
Oh, I was on the Fitz root beer menu when I was 10.
Well, speaking of,
they're pretty sweet.
Fucking famous.
so one of the main people behind this Loop trolley, though, there's a big restaurant here, and you've probably some of you may have seen it on some TV shows called Blueberry Hill.
Yeah, Blueberry
And
Hill's
the
great.
owner of Blueberry Hill is actually one of the main people who got this trolley.
Well, I'm
thing
never
rolling.
gonna go to Blueberry Hill
I
again.
mean,
Well, I
to
don't
be
anyway,
fair,
to be fair.
please
whose
tell me
restaurant is it?
Please tell me the pageant guy's not involved in it also.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I would just like to
think-
say that it's a Chuck Berry, God rest his soul, likes to watch women pee in the bathroom while they're not aware
wasn't
of
at
it.
Blueberry
so-
Hill.
No, but
But what a
still.
musician. Is it his trolley?
I don't want to go hang out at his restaurant if I know he's had cameras in the bathroom.
Maybe if they name it after him, more people would go right on the trolley then.
Maybe.
Anyway, I'm
They
more.
could hide cameras in it.
I'm,
That'd be like the thrill.
Oh,
Is Chuck
I-
Berry watching?
I more or less just
Who
wanted to kind
knows?
of recap the
shit show that
fuck
the Loop
that.
Trolley
Loop
is.
trolley.
That
is.
one
It
just
has
makes me
cost-
mad.
And since it's a
money
local story, let a lot of
and, yeah.
our viewers know about it for the first time. But that actually does conclude our news segment.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's time for Connor's Conspiracy Corner.
Dun dun dun. There is another world, beyond that which is known to the average man. It is a world that is as dark and as unknown as the void. A world where the ones with true power pull the strings behind the curtain of depravity. Take a journey with us into this world as we peer behind the curtain and look into the eyes of fear itself. Welcome to the Clone Zone.
So anyway, many of
Well
you may
done.
be asking yourselves, how did we end up on the topic of clones this evening?
Tell us.
Well, I initially approached Connor about tackling these Connor Conspiracy Corner segments together, where we'd both kind of do some research and kind of collaborate on it. And we were originally going to do this on celebrity replacements and clones.
Yep.
Like Avril Lavigne, Paul McCartney. I'm sure you guys have all heard about celebrities that are dead and have been replaced. But we stumbled upon one particular individual.
He's a special man.
Yeah.
So, you want to get this started?
Go for it.
Okay, so we're going to take you back just a little bit. Starting in 1997, there were, everybody knows about this pretty much, embryologists at the Roslin Institute in Scotland. They finally successfully cloned a young sheep, Dolly. Everybody knows
Dolly.
about Dolly, right?
Dolly, first clone.
They used a cell taken from the mammary gland of an adult sheep. And right after they did that, Bill Clinton was president, and he hated it. Right?
Yeah, what did he say? What did Bill Clinton say about it?
Along with all of, we'll get into that.
No,
but
he said
Bill
it raises...
Clinton's exact quote was, the cloning of Dolly the sheep raised, quote, serious ethical questions, particularly with respect to the possible use of this technology to clone human embryos.
Just want to say, Bill, rich talking about...
Lecturing us.
Yeah, about
on
morals.
ethics.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
So Clinton, along with several other world leaders, called for a ban on human cloning. That didn't think we'd ever have to worry about that. But so all of this is going on. You know, Dolly was cloned, and unknown to the general public at the time, there was a man, okay? A man who was about to break the dam and allow the truth to flood out.
Oh, shit.
Okay? He has been called Onimusha,
What? By who?
the Dragon Slayer.
Who calls him that, though? Himself?
We'll get there. The man who calls him that is himself.
Okay.
A man named
That's what I thought.
Donald Marshall.
And in December 2nd, 2011, Donald posted to Facebook a post titled "To Read Part 1, Confessions of Donald Marshall." This is no hoax. This is no joke. My name is Donald Marshall, and I've been cloned by a large secretive cult known as the Freemasons and the Vril Society and the Scientologists together called the Illuminati. They make replicated bodies to victimize in terrible ways. They clone children for men with underdeveloped penises to have sex
God.
with.
What?
Some very famous politicians and politically powerful people all gathered together for a disgusting time.
How horrible.
A
Now,
disgusting time.
Donald Marshall, obviously with that quote, you can see he claims to have seen this, witnessed this firsthand.
And that he is a clone, right? That's what he's saying?
He doesn't know this yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he says that there are elite scientists all over the world, and the reason now these are not. This isn't a direct quote. I'm more just going to paraphrase what he said, but he said that the reason nobody ever talks about any of this is because the cloning centers are very deep underground in secret military science bases.
They're so deep, people can't find them.
yeah, okay.
They're so deep underground.
Mole people.
And because they're deep underground, the world leaders never acknowledge it.
It's like oil.
So nobody asks the world leaders about it.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Coherent.
They don't.
correct?
It's like
Sure.
it's like if you suspected your partner of cheating, and every time they said no, and even if you knew it wasn't
No,
true,
it's-
you'd just be like, "Oh, well, they deny it, so why even ask?"
It's not even that. It's just that you suspect your partner is cheating,
Underground.
but you don't ask. You wait for them to bring it up, and they never bring it up, so you never.
just
Oh, well, they
never
didn't
ask.
tell me that they were.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Or they didn't tell me they wanted to know about cloning, so I just didn't tell them about the cloning. That's nonsense.
Okay.
But so Donald Marshall remembers visiting these secret military bases as a young child. Now that may sound odd,
Yes.
right?
Are his parents
What kind of young child goes to these secret underground military bases to look at clones? Okay, it just so happened that Donald Marshall was a clone, and that's why he was in these military bases,
wanna
witnessing
see-
this firsthand.
I want to see like a cutesy little like coming of age of
Donald
him like
Marshall.
playing tricks on people as a little kid growing up in these underground like
I don't think that
clone
exists
bunkers.
because Donald Marshall's parents sold him off to the Illuminati when he was 5 years old.
Gotcha.
They immediately cloned him, and
Are his parents still alive? How do they feel
there
about
is
it?
a shockingly little amount of information
about
of
Donald
him.
Poor
Marshall
parents.
as a child.
and
They're
you
probably
know,
like loving.
It's probably
like
because he
wonderful
is a
people.
clone.
Yeah,
But that's another.
that's fair. That's a good point.
So basically, it wasn't until he was much older that he figured out that he was a clone. Okay.
Does he not
was-
have a belly button?
I don't know. That's a good question.
They don't
We
need
might
one.
be able to get
you
him
don't
on the
need one, so they don't
podcast.
give him one.
We might be able to get him on the podcast for an interview.
We were actually reading on one of his one of his websites or something
Yeah.
that he might be willing to get on a Twitch stream.
You guys.
It's a slippery slope, though. Like,
Yeah. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
if this guy, it
I
seems
don't
like
wanna
he's mentally ill, and I
So
don't-
let's invite him into our home.
He's
Yeah,
either
exactly.
mentally ill or trying to profit off
Yeah,
of this, and maybe a
or-
little bit of both.
Yeah.
either way.
But I don't want to necessarily promote conspiracy theories,
And
which
he
is why this
doesn't-
is a joke segment.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
anyway, continue.
Which we should stress.
Yeah, we don't believe.
We don't believe
This is all
Yes,
nonsense. We're
yeah.
just doing it for pure entertainment purposes. So, I'm going to give you a little description of the clone rooms, and then we're going to jump into how the clones are made and what types of clones there are. So,
Oh shit.
basically, it wasn't until he was much older that he realized he was a clone when he was being given a tour of what he calls the grow rooms.
you know, there's other
A deep
other
level
things that are called that
underground.
too.
Alright.
A deep level underground. No shit. He already mentioned that, right? Entire floors where human clones are grown in the dark. Okay? Suspended in water in stacked glass tubes. So just
Water kills things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not clones.
Okay.
Obviously.
They don't
While
need to
they're-
breathe
while they're
air.
growing there, while they're growing,
Okay.
they
Yeah.
probably got tubes hooked up to them and shit.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Like the Matrix.
yeah,
Why
there's-
isn't it like
they're in-
amniotic fluid of all? Like why
Right.
just straight up water?
Water.
Yeah.
Because Donald Marshall is just like fluid water.
Yeah,
That's fair enough.
exactly.
All
It's
right.
not Dr. Pepper.
He says a
clearly.
lot of other questionable things.
You don't say.
Pretty much. I mean, like things that like we'll get into it. Okay. Okay. So he says that they're in these suspended glass tubes in water, and he says the grow rooms are dark, dirty, and reek of the smell of urine. He explains that elite scientists, because
Why does it smell like urine? Or like
Exactly.
hobos
They're in
pissing in
tubes.
there?
There's no
What is
toilet.
going
that's what I'm
on?
saying. He just
There's-
says stuff like this that when you really think about
There's
it,
no
it doesn't
reason
make
for
any
anything to
sense.
smell like urine.
And they're in tubes.
Yeah.
Like, and even if they were peeing, which they're not,
No.
because they're not even fully
No.
grown clones yet.
Right.
Whatever. He basically says that the elite scientists usually create a series of the same clones at a time. So they'll copy one person over and over again, and they'll select the best and dispose of the rest. And this is where it's shocking. It makes it easy for them to create these multiple copies of the same person because cloning only requires 5 months and $30 to reach
Wait.
full.
This is according to
Wait.
Donald.
That's
What
a
is
direct
where can I see his math on that?
I don't
like,
think
I
you
need
can
to see
because
his breakdown.
I don't think he has the math done.
So
but
for
he
some
knows
reason, this only
Okay.
costs
it
$30,
only takes
and only
5
the
months
richest in
and 30
society are
and
doing
he
it.
doesn't even say dollars. He just says $30. So maybe he's not even referring
He's talking about
to
deer.
Yeah,
You have to
maybe
kill
maybe
30
he-
deer.
yeah, maybe you have to sacrifice $30. Anyway,
Okay. All right.
so from there we're gonna move into the types of clones. So we learned how they were made in these glass
Right.
tubes. I think they used to need discarded foreskin or something else.
Paps. They used to use
Yeah, yeah.
pap smears
Yep. Or
and
discarded,
foreskin.
But now they
So
just need your
cervical
blood.
tissue,
They use cervical tissue, I guess.
swabs
yes.
of cervical tissue,
Yes, or
and
foreskin.
Foreskin.
I assume cervical tissue to
Or
create the
foreskins.
women and foreskin to create the men, but who knows?
But
Okay,
now advancements in
okay.
cloning technology means they only need your
Alright.
blood.
they only
okay.
need your blood, yeah.
So there are two different kinds of clones: replication clones and duplication clones.
Mhm.
Okay.
Of course.
With the replication clones, these scientists create ideal conditions for new life to grow in a lab. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Air conditioners. and
whatever they do, oxygen,
Yeah.
that kind of
shit.
stuff.
Water.
Yeah, water. Whatever they do, it results in a perfectly formed baby clone. Okay.
All
This is
right.
the extent of the description of what they do.
Okay.
I'm just letting
Okay.
you know
Okay.
that right now. This process is time consuming, way more time consuming than duplication clone, and the baby will still need to grow and develop just like any other human. So basically, it's not really. It's more just creating life in a lab and not like
Right.
copying somebody
Right.
else's
Right,
DNA.
right, right.
Yeah.
You know, duplication is obviously the process where we snag up Dan. We take
And we make
his,
two Dans.
We take his discarded foreskin,
Which I know
and-
Paige has been one. She's like, hey, give me 2 or 3 of them around here.
for some potion brewing.
Yeah, exactly.
So we would copy Dan, and they can be grown quickly, very quickly, as he said, 5 months and $30. And they can even be used immediately after that 5 months and $30 are gone. So
It's cheaper than a regular baby.
that's
it is. Shit.
that's a duplication cloning, and that's you can see that in the 2005 futuristic sci-fi thriller The Island. One of the best movies
What?
ever made. This is literally straight from his
The
manifesto.
island isn't about
and
clones.
hold on,
is
let me
it?
The
read.
Inception and The Island are both written about.
Um,
No, this is
At age 30, they allowed me to remember these clone memories, and now every time I enter REM sleep, I am there. I don't have dreams, I only have clone memories. And the movie The Island and Inception is about this subject. They think they're very sly and untouchable.
Straight from Donald Marshall himself.
That's his continuing reading. To read part 1, Confessions of Donald Marshall.
Okay.
So in reality, though,
Quote unquote reality.
Clone organs are grown way too fast and are not
Way too
viable.
slow down.
They're not viable for use in actual organ transplants. So you can't clone their organs and keep just transplanting it.
Why
and
not?
Make them. This is Donald Marshall.
You
He doesn't
ask a lot of
Because they
why?
grow too
No,
fast?
they're great questions, but the
yeah.
problem is
Connor's
that
sane.
the
I'm
problem.
asking because
yeah.
maybe he has an answer. Maybe he's got some bullshit. That's why I'm asking.
If he has an
No,
answer,
he has no answers for
He's
most
not telling anyone.
So they grow too fast. Do they continue to grow too fast? Like, does your clone age twice?
We're
as
not
fast
elite
as you?
scientists.
Yeah, we're not privy
know?
to this
I have
information.
so many questions.
And honestly,
Oh, we do
Connor and I
too.
are probably just clones that are
Yeah.
don't know
And
shit.
see, that's
I
the
don't know.
thing
I've
is
got
that
a belly button.
Honestly, the original me and Connor's probably found out too much about this, and then they had to off us.
That makes
So
sense.
Probably headed down the same path as
Donald
clones.
does have one claim, though. The science behind this human cloning is very, very flawed. They have a lot of kinks to work out, okay? Basically, these clones have serious side effects. They tend to be unpredictable and erratic and have almost little to no impulse control. And so if he's been a clone this whole time and he just figured it out when he was, 30 years old, he said?
Right.
Dan, would you tell us a little bit how he survived this? How he made it this far to be able to
So he
bring us
talks about the
truth?
cloning factory, and he and honestly, it's pretty gruesome. He describes it. It is basically a torture and child molesting factory. I was one of those children, but when I was young, to keep the perverts off me, I started singing songs, original songs, very good ones. They told me to keep making these songs, and I wouldn't get hurt, and so I did.
What?
Then they started bringing me there every day, and as these celebrities wanted more, they called me the goose that laid the golden egg, the phenomenon. But I ran out of ideas. Then the torture began. They smashed my face to start throwing me around, scaring me, a 5-year-old, never letting me remember until in real life I turned 30. The torture worsened until I began stabbing. The torture worsened until I was being stabbed and burned, repeatedly sodomized. And then he goes on to describe at age 30 they allowed him to remember these clone memories in his REM sleep, as I
Yeah,
made the
so
quote
that's
earlier.
the thing. What they say is that basically with this REM sleep cloning thing, he is, which we'll get into, I guess, as much as we can find out about how this works in part 2 whenever we do that.
Well, don't spoil it. But
I'm not going to spoil it, but there's something we'll learn about in that section that will
be a
help us
part 2 of
explain
this,
how
guys.
they do this.
Okay.
But basically, they use that REM cloning and they transfer their consciousness to the clone bodies when they are in REM stage of sleep.
Right. So
Okay.
basically, Donald avoided, in order for Donald to endure, what Donald had to do was start singing songs. And I mean, Donald might just be the greatest hit maker of all time, right, Connor?
I can
At
list
5
off
years
a few.
old, right?
At 5 years old.
Okay.
At 5 years old. Now I have a very decent sized list, probably almost 20 songs.
Give us the
I'm gonna give you the
highlights.
top ones, okay? Single Ladies,
by Beyonce.
Sweet
I
Dreams
mean,
by Beyonce.
Donald Marshall.
Donald Marshall, sorry. Duck Sauce, Barbara Streisand.
Which I think is from Funny Face.
Somebody
wrote
That
these
I
songs.
Used to Know by Gautier.
Wait, how did he write Funny? How
He
did
just
write
wrote
his-
it. He wrote it, and Gautier
I
was
think-
holding on. Or
no.
Duck Sauce.
He's not old enough, is what you're
he's
saying?
not old enough. That movie came out probably before or around.
Yeah,
the
well,
time
he was probably a clone, you know what I
Okay,
mean?
sorry.
This is
Sorry.
largely our point of this entire
Go
thing.
ahead, continue.
Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier. A Megadeth song, Foreclosure of a Dream. A Metallica song, Unforgiven.
A Metallica song, Unforgiven.
Happiness in Slavery by Nine Inch Nails. Drain You by Nirvana. Shut It Down by Pitbull.
Kitfoot.
The most diverse and talented songwriter
Truly.
Never Say
At
Never by The
5 years
Fray.
old.
of like
Some
5
these
people's
songs,
generations.
I don't want a 5-year-old singing. I don't want to hear a 5-year-old's Nine Inch Nails. Like,
You're gonna go
fucking
far by The
song.
Offspring.
You're going to go far, kid. Yeah.
So
my God.
this is how he was able to stay alive, basically.
By writing these songs. And
he does
giving them
also
celebrity,
mention how he was
making the
forced to come
Illuminati
up
money.
with movie ideas, with game ideas, because he kept giving them gold.
He kept giving like Bethesda was some of Bethesda.
Now we can't find any examples of actual video game titles or movie titles that he
we
actually
couldn't
thought
find
up,
what he thinks that he.
but he does
He
say
he name drops
Okay.
Bethesda.
he
Okay.
name drops Bethesda and LucasArts.
LucasArts. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Attack of the Clones, I think might be one of them.
I think Attack of the
Interesting.
Clones isn't that one of the movies about.
Oh, that might be
I think
that might be
so. I
Astral
think
Light
Donald.
stuff.
That might. Don't touch into Astro.
I'm not touching
There's
it,
a
yeah.
whole nother realm to this conspiracy world. Let's just leave out the
Yeah,
Attack of the Clones
we'll
for
s-
now,
we'll
so we
stick
can
with the
verify.
movies.
We gotta stick to the facts.
Oh no.
We know he wrote the songs.
Yeah, so and
For a fact.
on top of these songs, he claims that there are several huge celebrities around the world that are either in on it or are clones themselves.
Right.
Okay.
Whether that's willingly or unwillingly, we will never know.
Do you have a list of them?
I have a few of them. I didn't want to go into too much because there are a lot of them.
I want to
Give us a
hear
couple.
some. I want to
Give us a couple of the celebrities, and then
Well, here's a couple of the big ones, and I got a story about one of them. Bernie Mac. R.I.P. R.I.P.
Okay.
Bernie Mac. You guys may
Okay,
remember from
so
the Bernie
now
Mac
this
show or
is-
Charlie's Angels.
I am going to read a direct quote that Donald Marshall posted on either his little manifesto thing that he wrote or I don't know where, but it's pretty nonsensical, so buckle your seatbelts. He's talking about being in like the cloning station basically. So one good person there was Bernie Mac, comedian and actor, tried to stand up for me, speak up for me, saying that it's not right to do to a human being. Tried to have others join him in speaking out against the clone torture zone. While there, Elizabeth and Philip, Queen Elizabeth, and
Oh, okay. Okay.
Philip, Duke of Edinburgh.
Yep.
I actually have a bit about that.
Elizabeth and Philip had him tortured so badly as an example of their power, and he had an aneurysm, and the next day he died.
Wait, hang on. Are Elizabeth and Philip clones too?
Well, hold on.
Is this layers?
So they're
That's coming up.
They might be
Torturing
clones, but
clones?
let me get into this. Is again.
Let me name a few celebrities.
Yeah.
first,
Okay, and then
Yeah.
we'll move into
because that's what's next.
keep,
Okay,
keep
so
the
Bernie
Queen's
Mac.
name out of your mouth.
So
okay?
yeah, my mistake.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac's the main one, right? He backed
The good
up.
guy.
He backed up Donald Marshall
Yeah.
until they had him killed.
Yep.
R.I.P. Eminem's another one.
Fair enough.
Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne.
Makes sense.
Oddly, Chloe Grace Moretz from the Kick-Ass movies, right? That's what
Yeah,
she's
That's
in.
weird.
and
but okay.
Carrie.
Yeah. Steph
Oh.
Curry, James
See-
Franco, Oprah's boyfriend,
Good.
Steve Harvey.
Oprah's one and only boyfriend.
Yep, that's it. Doesn't deserve a name.
Steve Harvey, Dr. Oz,
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I
Bono.
believe Dr. Oz. Actually.
Bono, and quite possibly everyone else that you love.
All right.
So, that's the end of the celebrities. Now, let's talk about
Queen
who
Elizabeth?
pulls the strings. Who's
who's
the
at
one
the
that's
heart
in
of
charge
this,
of
right?
all of this, right?
The royal family.
Well, let Don tell you in his own words here. Now, let me tell you about the ringleaders. As unbelievable as it may be to you, but you must believe me, this is a world emergency. The royal family of England.
Yep.
Yes, Queen Elizabeth,
God damn.
Philip Duke, Prince Charles are the worst of them. Unbelievable depraved perverts showing off for the celebrities that go there. Elizabeth has Elizabeth has the children. They call her Lilibet, and she does ungodly things to them. Some she fakes being nice to. Some she's terrible to. Cutting them with swords while they scream.
Can you imagine?
swords?
I don't know if that's literal.
Imagine little tiny 90-year-old hunched over Queen Elizabeth, like
Cutting
hitting
people with
kids with
swords.
swords,
The
just
decent-
like cackling.
The decent people that are there against their will be afraid to say anything against them. Most of them have their children there and are being kind of held hostage. To be torn apart and even think about informing anyone. To be torn apart if they even think about informing anyone.
God.
And then also, I don't know if this is the right time to talk about Miley.
That's actually the next part. Yeah.
Okay, do you want?
Basically, after we figure out that these hugely high-ranking people, I think Putin's in there too.
Yeah, he does go on to talk about Vladimir Putin. I don't know if. Oh, here we go.
This is a good one.
Vladimir Putin loves to put the fear and torture and death into people, but is essentially a cowardly pervert himself.
Is this because of all the shirtless pics?
He hates communism.
Most of the famous people are ashamed to speak or have been seen, but there is much ashamed of the perverse and disgusting gatherings. I am a decent person, and I will not participate in these acts.
For somebody that thinks that like the royal family as well as the United States government participate in this, why hate communism of all things? Like you've seen other forms that you think are worse.
Now, you
Not
may
that
be
I'm saying it's good.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean. You may be thinking Donald Marshall says all of this stuff, right? He talks this big talk, but how's he going to back it up?
Well,
what evidence does he have that this is actually happening?
Well, I want to quote a 2013 post. Now, this isn't Don's own words again, but this isn't from the same post. Miley Cyrus was talking about the cloning center last night. She said that she's going to be needing songs, and then I will be making them. I said, no, I will not be making any more songs. She said, yes, you will. I said, Miley, you're going to be in some lot of trouble in the future if you keep silent about the alien body snatching crisis. She said, I'll just say I was scared. Aliens, hello. And she chuckled.
Now we're on to alien body snatching?
Well, they're like lizard people, alien. It's complicated.
It is escalated. I like to imagine that he's like, listen, I used all of my songwriting juices on Achy Breaky Heart. That's all you get. That's all you get from me, Cyrus's.
And Metallica and Megadeth.
So, but moving on to like some more substantial concrete evidence from the horse's mouth,
Let's call it
some
that.
would say. We do have Tila Tequila, everybody's favorite.
Nobody likes every Nazi.
No, it's everybody's favorite.
Backing up Don's statement.
She is a neo-Nazi,
let's hear
right?
it.
That happened?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
let's hear it in Tila's words. It's really bad audio quality.
That's just fucking with my program, darling, Queen Elizabeth, and the pedophilia ring, and the cloning centers. That's right, darling, the cloning centers. Parents, listen to me right now. They are blocking me, but that is quite all right. They're blocking me, but that's quite all right. Because I have many, many other forces. I should not say their names right now. We have many big plans.
How much ketamine did she consume?
Right.
All of you disgusting, sadistic fucks. Okay? That is all.
All right, so that's where we're going to pause that. That's an 13-minute video of Tila Tequila.
A neo-Nazi?
This is about...
Clearly it's concrete evidence.
Also, clearly she's sober.
Yes.
Honestly, that's not any more evident by the way she
Satire.
sounded. Anyway, so that's Don's evidence. That's pretty much...
no, he's got some more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a few tweets by B.O.B. You remember that rapper?
Oh, yeah, okay, yep.
Notice a celebrity who have tattoos or piercings missing or mysteriously vanish equals cloning center.
Oh.
When a celebrity in great health suddenly suffered a stroke, heart attack, or aneurysm equals cloning center. Hundreds of kids go missing each year equals cloning center.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And unfortunately, these people really do believe this.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of the comments on like this Tequila video.
Boy.
Do we want to do some of that?
First, what is Tila Tequila famous for? She was like a stripper or something,
I know
right?
she was on that one show where she dated
she had
people or something.
like Flavor of Love or something like that.
She had one of those kind of shows.
First comment besides the posters comment says she's telling the truth. She's obviously not the perfect messenger. Unfortunately, there's a very blind mentality with people who believe that the world is a perfect place. No one cares. Someone needs to speak up for these children. I find it, and then the second comment says, I find it very disturbing that the audio in this video has been tampered with.
Tampered with by ketamine.
They say Bernie Mac was killed because he asked too many questions about the cloning centers. I almost said Bernie centers. Anyway, Connor.
I've got a few more comments on a video that Donald Marshall, basically, he didn't post it, but it's somebody reading in like a chipmunk voice the article that Dan was quoting, or the manifesto thing that he wrote that Dan was quoting earlier. Some of the comments say, well, for one, just very simple. He's telling the truth. This shit happens. Donald, I cannot imagine what you've been through. I believe you, and I am protected by the Holy Spirit. Contact me somehow.
Are they Catholic?
Hold strong.
Is he Catholic?
Either that Don's not.
Do other Christians do the Holy Spirit, or is that just Catholics?
Oh, let's take a quick side.
Let me also I forgot to mention this at the beginning. Donald's first the first Facebook post that we mentioned from December 2nd, 2011 is 3,880 words long.
Yeah.
No.
And some of those words, which I'm just going to take a quick tangent. I can't find them right now because as Dan just said, it's a lot. But real quick, I was listening to that video that's basically just the comments that I'm reading, where they're just reading his letter that he wrote. Mm-hmm. And in the letter, he talks about how he finally was going to come forth with this letter and release it to the public and say, this is what's happening. And the Illuminati and all of those people in the cloning centers, they were telling him, don't do that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
We're going to have to torture you more if you do that. You're not coming up with hit songs, hit movies, hit games anymore. You don't have much use.
Skyrim's already been out. We can only put it on so many more platforms.
We need another Miley Cyrus hit stat.
So Donald, in the face of evil, he stood strong and he said, I'm going to release this video. And then in his own words, he said that they gave him a quote shin bone spinal tap.
What?
A shin bone.
Does he know what a spinal tap is?
Yeah, he doesn't know where spines are located.
He knows what a shin bone spinal tap is.
What is a shin bone spinal tap?
It is where they drill a hole in your shin, and he said they sucked the marrow out of his shin.
That is nothing. It's not.
And then
I'm surprised he wasn't. They lobotomized my shin.
The spine of your shin.
Yeah. Okay.
And so then he said,
right.
he said, you know, we're gonna do this to you, and if you release that letter. And he said, do it. I'm still gonna release the letter. And they did it. And he said, I'm still gonna release the letter. And then they said, well, you know, you might wonder, by the way, why hasn't anybody just killed him? Mm-hmm. If they're really doing this stuff,
or have they? Because we haven't heard from Donald.
Nobody knows about Donald Marshall until now. Just kill him. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
They don't want that on their consciousness, is what he said.
They're fine with raping
Nobody
babies.
wants to be
They're
responsible
like raping
for
and
his
torturing
death, right?
children.
Which, by the way, he's a clone.
They're murdering celebrities.
He's a clone, so, you know.
They don't.
Is he even human? Do clones have rights? Right.
I mean, they've been killing them already, so they just discard
That's a Star
the
Trek
fucked up
Next
ones.
Generation question.
And so eventually he says, you know, they kept torturing him and talking to him, and they ran out of things to talk to him about. So they asked him, what's better? Pop-Tarts or Toaster Strudel?
What?
What'd he say?
I had to turn it off, to be honest.
If he said fucking Pop-Tarts, he's literally insane.
The second I heard that, I had to turn it off.
I was expecting a very serious, like, deep question.
Right.
But, and with that, we're going to go into the final part of it. Where is Donald Marshall today?
Where is Donald Marshall today? Well, he's still active on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really heard much about cloning centers, but Connor and I have looked at some of his tweets.
Well,
that's a great question. We have a very docile Donald Marshall on Twitter.
No.
He's D Marshall Truth at Twitter.
Twitter.
And most of his posts, like his most recent post 22 hours ago, Nova Scotia being hit by a Hurricane Dorian now.
Maybe he got like help. Maybe he got
Out
mental
sick
help.
September 5th. Happy Labor Day, September 2nd.
August 20th, though.
Of this year? Oh.
A show called
He
Edge
still
of Wonder
dabbles.
have made a short documentary about me and cloning. They got most of it right. It's only a half hour. Check it out.
Oh. Maybe he's working on it.
He does seem like he's calmed down quite a bit.
Yeah, if we go back
he's
to August 10th.
legitimately getting
Wow,
something good for him.
Illuminati getting pretty slack these days.
Oh, boy.
Epstein
Whoa.
Gurney photos faked. Let me throw these up on the screen.
Yeah, you need to see this.
Epstein Gurney photos faked.
Oh, Jesus.
The New York. Okay, so
I
this
haven't
is.
seen that photo.
I don't know if I necessarily want to show this because it does show a dead body.
Well, we're already displaying.
Well, this
so.
barely shows it. Okay, throw that off the screen.
Sign says, please turn off engines when it clearly probably says machines.
And it says
Yeah.
Epstein's head is way too big and the body does not match the head.
Doesn't even
Obvious
show the body.
Photoshop. It doesn't show the body.
No.
This filthy wall would not be in any hospital anywhere.
Oh, boo. Go to a hospital.
Right. Come to St. Louis and come to a city hospital that's been around
Yeah.
for decades.
That's got
This
people
is in
in
New
and out
York, right? Isn't he
constantly.
like in New York where he was in jail? Or
Yeah.
am I wrong? Yeah. So it's a filthy hospital.
Also,
I
can
guarantee it.
I just say it says New York Fire Department Gurneys, and that guy's literally wearing an FDNY shirt, so why would it not be Fire
Right.
Department Gurneys?
Yeah, that's weird.
And I
Compressed air hose. What does that even mean?
It does just say compressed
there's
air hose
pictures
here.
of Epstein. I don't want you to show this
I
one
won't.
page because it is a close up of
I
it.
won't.
It shows Epstein alive, Epstein dead, Epstein alive, Epstein dead, and it's got a side by side and it's just like got lines drawn on his ears and nose.
His nose showing that they're slightly different.
They're slightly. I mean, one's a
shapes.
dead body though. I'm not.
Yeah.
Tried Domino's pizza for the first time. Pretty
is my
good.
favorite
Sauce is
one.
savory. I like Pizza Hut better
Oh
though.
no.
There it is.
Show this. Throw this up. On
I don't
screen.
think that's Domino's.
That's not a Domino's
Domino's
pizza.
For
doesn't
one,
make
the
that.
boxes
Look, let's zoom in.
are brown. Okay.
Oh, I can't.
Domino's boxes are not brown.
I can't. Zoom
They don't
in.
put whole ass beautiful tomatoes.
That sauce is
on.
not Domino's
now,
sauce.
Now he does
Yeah.
live in Canada, so maybe they do.
Maybe it's a different kind of
you know.
Domino's.
Please read just one more time for full effect. Read that tweet.
Tried Domino's pizza for the first time. Pretty good. Sauce is savory. I like Pizza Hut better though.
Oh.
So that's what Don's tweeting about these days.
And
Maybe
now-
he's getting help. He sounds a little calmer sometimes.
Yes,
And that's the thing,
honestly,
is
that's
that,
the
like,
thing.
maybe good
we
for
don't know
him.
if Don is severely mentally ill and he has
Yeah.
schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Or some type of other mental, he maybe needs to get help, or if Don's in it for some type of profit. He doesn't necessarily seem to be. At one point, he hadn't written a book about it. He has definitely now.
Yeah.
You can buy
That's
it
the
digitally.
thing. That's the thing is that he's saying all of this crazy shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which could be he is mentally ill, and if that's the case, we're
right,
not.
right.
This is not a mean-spirited thing or
No,
anything like
no,
that.
No.
He does need to get help, but also like he does seem kind of sane at times, and
Yeah.
maybe a little strange, but normal otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh, I prefer Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you know,
I at the beginning you were reading something from his like manifesto,
Yeah.
and you had made like the pyramid of the Illuminati. I just want to make sure I have this right. It's Freemasons and Scientologists.
yes,
And
That
the Illuminati.
collective-
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that
that collectively
made
become.
Right. Let me
yeah.
read
the
that
Illuminati,
again.
right? Okay, I just wanted to make
we
sure.
have. I've been cloned by a large secretive cult known as the Freemasons and Vril Society and Scientologists, together called the Illuminati.
Okay, I didn't
We'll
know
get
that's what
into
made
the
up
Vril.
the
He
Illuminati.
He does in
apparently.
all of his interviews. Counter can verify this. He says Illuminati.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you have to say it.
If you want to play that little clip of him real fast that you have,
Oh yeah, let's hear him.
Which one?
the one where he's being interviewed, but it looks like he's just rambling into it.
Yeah, but that's an hour-long video.
Well,
which
just a
part?
little clip of it. That one clip that we were listening
Yeah,
to.
you can at least see him.
I want to see him and hear his voice.
deeds that she's done at the cloning stage.
All right, let me zoom out. 1 second. Let me get to the part I want you to hear because around 3 minutes he starts talking about how they get the DNA, which is what Connor wasn't able to find the exact quote for.
They
Mhm.
used to use kids' foreskins that were discarded at the hospital that got removed. That's what happened to me. But now they said they've
How does he know that?
upgraded the technology.
How does he know
over
who's
10
made from a
years.
foreskin?
And his REM dreams.
What they used to do with the tissue, well, they could also, they used to set this little oil drill looking thing over a person's forearm, strap their arm to a chair. And this drill, it had things on it that opened up, right? Now, it would go in, and when it spun, these things would open up. But then when it stopped, the things would close again. Now, this is done, it goes in, comes out, in, comes out. And what it was doing, it has to agitate the tissue, they told me when I was a kid, to a certain degree. I guess, like they said, the easiest way to tell a person in layman's terms about it is, when you have a hangnail and you pull it off, and the white stuff that accumulates inside, and eventually it'll form like a scab and new skin and it'll grow over. Well, to get that white stuff to really work good, they agitate the tissue a certain amount of times. Now they just agitate blood from like a blood sample even.
So honestly, this is just going to
Okay.
be rambling and rambling
Yep.
and rambling.
All right.
Yep.
So, which is why it's really hard to sift through this information, and that is actually why this is probably going to be part 1 of our Donald Marshall.
I mean, we
discussion.
have barely even scratched the surface. We've
scratched
given
the
you the
surface.
overview.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
This isn't Don's only conspiracy either, and
Yeah.
and
Of
all
course
of his
not.
conspiracies interconnect. All of them come together. We haven't even thrown out all the names of people that have been involved. Let's just say, Connor, I'm going to say right now,
Say it.
a certain little man that you may love from movies like The Fast and the Furious, who's dead.
I wonder
may
who it could be.
involved. Okay, but we'll save that for next time on Connor's
Woo, 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 woo.
Conspiracy.
No, this is
Corner.
the clone zone.
This is the clone
It
zone
will
now.
be the
Connor's clone zone.
Connor's
Yeah.
clone zone. That'll probably be what we
Here on
continue
out.
with next week. But that about concludes it, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
for
Yeah.
this week's.
It's a lot of nonsense.
is a lot to sort through.
And it's going to be a lot more
I feel like we
nonsense.
got a good introduction to it, but it's almost like we need to spend an entire podcast on
Just this guy.
Just this guy.
Oh, man.
But
All right.
for now, that's where we're going to leave it. And guys, I hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast this evening. We try to do this once a month. And usually the three of us are always here. Sometimes we have special guests on it. Anyway, let's give some plugs here real quick. If you guys want to find me, I am on Twitter. I am at DanPearBig. And you can find more episodes of this podcast at danpearbig.com/PearCast. It's kind of an extension of what I do on Twitch, although it's also very much not related to it at all. But I have a lot of fun doing it, guys. So be sure to, if you like this podcast, you like what you're hearing, follow us on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're listening to us. Subscribe to us, whatever you have to do to make us show up regularly. Do that. You can also find videos of us on YouTube. Connor?
I recently started streaming on Twitch. You can check me out at twitch.tv, the Lord Otter, LORDOTTER.
Guys.
It's the because the was taken.
As of this episode.
It's more regal.
Yeah, there you go.
As of this episode,
That's what I'll say.
And I'm sure it won't be the case next episode, Connor is not quite affiliate, but he's almost there.
Yeah,
so if
go
you
get
could
him to
follow
affiliate.
him on Twitch, the Lord Otter on Twitch.
I'd really
Help
appreciate
him out,
it.
guys. He's
The
really close. We're
Lord
trying to get him
Otter.
there. I'm also on Twitch. I don't know if I mentioned that at
You're
Dan
on-
Parabig as well.
oh, yeah.
I'm on all of it. Just
I
go
was
to the
about to say
website.
we're streaming on Twitch, Dan.
We are
but
on
then I
Twitch, but
realized
not
we're
everybody
for
listening
listeners.
to it. Yeah, we do these broadcasts live on Twitch.
Yep.
On a more raw style, and then the edited broadcast gets sent out on everything.
You can also check me out on Twitter at Lord Otter Games. Not too active right now, but I'm doing my best.
Yeah, I need to be more on Twitter instead of just posting like going live.
I just kind of forget about it, honestly.
Yeah, I need to. Paige?
Yeah, I don't know how to use Twitter and never do, but I'm not quite
But you're on
Heroes, HEROES. But I do use like Instagram and stuff, so you can find me there.
Ravelry.
Ravelry, if y'all knit, come check me out. But yeah, I'm just not quite Heroes on everything. HEROES. Come find me.
Perfect. All right, guys. Well, like I said, thank you so much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next month with some more funny news and conspiracies.
We're going to be learning about the secret of the Vril.
The Vril. Next month
I
on...
want to learn about more lives ruined by Katy Perry.
Oh,
That's
well.
what I want to dig into now.
Honestly,
She's probably a clone, so...
Well, next month we'll get Russell Brand on here, and we'll have we'll talk about all the lies that Katy Perry has ruined. Okay.
I want to find out if this is a common occurrence. That like a lot of people's last words are like, Katy Perry, stop.
They say,
powerful.
Katy Perry, please stop.
And then just...
in the middle of a courtroom.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching.
Thanks,
Have a great rest
everybody.
of your evening.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
See ya.
Your eyes are red, you look direct, been sowing wild oats round another's neck. So goodbye, Katy, just bar the door for me. Goodbye, Katy, now bar the door. Your ball and chain won't be home no more. Hang the sign upon your back gate. Tell your new daddy that I'm not around no more. He's slipping on dangerous ground. Goodbye, Katy, don't bar the door too late.